What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr, and because you lot wanted to see it, I have decided to show it to you, and that is a test and combo video for the True Draco Tomb Keeper profile I showed you all the other day. So what we're going to be doing in this one is we're going to be doing 2 test stands going first, 2 test stands going second. Now the one thing about True Dracos is they are a very reactive deck. Now what I mean by that is depending on if your opponent interacts with you, you will get more advantage. The benefit of combining it with the Tomb Keeper strategy is it allows you to also have an added element of being able to be a little bit more combo orientated with your control aspects. As shown in the deck profile, there are different ways of being able to play the deck as well, which is why I showed you the Zodiac engine and then also the kind of more control stun element with Amano-Wato. This one is going to be a little bit more explosive, a little bit more combo orientated when you do see the access of the Tomb Keepers themselves. So with all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. After a decent shuffle, a decent cut, our starting hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, not the most efficient when you have this many cards. However, the added benefit that we're going to get is because we have access to the spell card, we have an additional summon, which is really, really important because that's what you kind of need to get access to both. In an ideal scenario, if something else along these lines were a spell or a trap, which more times than not it would be a continuous spell or trap to do so, you would ideally want to get the Dynamite Knight down first and then use your Man with the Mark, because then at that point your opponent is more inclined to interact with the Man with the Mark and you would then get advantage off the back of a Dynamite Knight, Ignis or a Majesty Maiden. In this particular scenario, because we've opened up more monsters than you ever really should do, we are going to be starting off with Man with the Mark itself. So we're going to normal summon down the Man with the Mark. The benefit is if they do interact with Man with the Mark right now, we can activate Disciples and then get the additional tribute summon to be able to either get rid of the Man with the Mark or get rid of the Disciples itself to get you access to the Dynamite Knight. Regardless, we're going to activate the Man with the Mark. We're going to be able to search out our treasures of the king. And this is going to be very, very interesting and very important, which is why it's important to open up at least one spell or trap that you can set alongside access to your treasures, because when we're going to be able to activate our treasures, this will then allow us to set an Apophis trap card. Now, on its own, that's not enough. But because we are now able to set down the Disciples, we can now get the additional effect of the Treasures of the King to add a monster that mentions Temple of the King. Now, if you didn't have access to Man with the Mark, you would go for your Anubis. But because we already do have access to that, we're going to go for our Circuit. And that will then allow us to work our way into Temple of the Kings specifically as well, which is really, really important. So, after we've shuffled this up, so the benefit of something like the Circuit is that this card, Treasure of the King, is treated as Temple of the Kings while it's face up on the field. So we're going to be able to special summon down our Circuit. We're going to be banishing a card from our deck that is a level 10 or higher. So we're going to get rid of our Anubis, the Last Judge. So we're going to banish that out of the way. We're going to be able to summon down our Circuit. Circuit will then allow you to add a spell that specifically lists Temple of the Kings. So the benefit of that is you can grab Temple of the Kings itself, or of course Treasures of the Kings, but we want Temple of the Kings. So we're going to grab our Temple of the Kings, which is really important as well because it is a continuous spell card. Then we have the ability, we're going to activate Temple of the Kings. Now we have the ability to activate one of our face down trap cards. So you can choose to activate the Apophis Serpent, which in turn would get you into the Swamp Deity and then give you even more resource. So when you've opened up something like your Masterpiece, you're in a very, very good position. However, now that we're in this position here where we have a lot of stuff that we want to tribute off, you also have the ability to get you access to a True Draco trap card by putting both of these together and go into your Silo Hat Rabbit. So there's a couple of different avenues that you can go down depending on what you want to achieve. To me, I feel the best way that we can end this field is possibly with a Masterpiece, for the pure fact that it will give us the most aggressive reach against our opponent. So let's start with activating Disciples. We'll use Disciples' ability to give us an additional normal summon of a True Draco, or additional tribute summon to be precise. And then we will tribute off, actually we don't need to do that just yet. Let's get some trap cards in rotation. So we'll go Apophis Serpent first, we'll activate this, we'll summon itself. This will then allow you to set the Swamp Deity and then activate the Swamp Deity. Now you can tribute both of these off, link them off as long as you can turn them into an effect monster. But we're going to go into the Divine Serpent Apophis. So we'll put this one in defense. We'll play around the Lightning Storm a little bit. Not that they wouldn't go for the spells and traps, but we'll get the protection off the Temple of the Kings anyway. Now the benefit you get here is that your Apophis of Serpent will let you set an Apophis from the deck, being the embodiment of Apophis. And remember, this effect can set up to 3 with different names. We can actually get all 3 of these back should we want to. And that's the reason that you save the Disciples a little bit later on. And I kind of shotgunned it a bit early, is that we activate this now. And now what we can do is we can choose to tribute off 2, like a monster and a spell, or a monster and a trap if we want to go for a full-on Masterpiece. Or we can wait and save the Masterpiece for during our opponent's turn and just go, cool, Dynamite Knight, get rid of the embodiment. So now as this currently stands, what we can do is we can utilise the effect of the Divine Serpent Apophis to reset all 3 of these cards. Now the only downside is we've pretty much clogged a lot of our zones. So now you want to kind of free some stuff up. So your options are, if you keep the Man with the Mark on it, the benefit of having Man with the Mark face up on the field is that while you control Temple of the Kings, this card and your Apophis monsters cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect. Temple of the Kings you control can also not be destroyed by card effect, which means it protects both of these, and then once you start activating these and they hit the field, they will be protected. That being said, if you want to clear up some space, and we probably do need to clear up some space, we can link both of those together and we'll go into an IP Masquerena. The only reason I'd go into an IP Masquerena is because Sealer Hat will get us a continuous trap card, but we've pretty much got everything we need. Unless you choose to only set 2 of this card, and then this one would be your spare trap card space for a card to be set off the back of the Sealer Hat Rabbit. So it's entirely up to you on which route you'd want to go down, but I'm going to play for our opponent's turn just to have a bit of an idea of what I'm looking to achieve here. Okay, so we pass into our opponent's turn. During our opponent's turn, you've got a couple of different options. We can go Chainlink 1, Swamp Deity, Chainlink 2, Apophis the Serpent, Chainlink 3, Embodiment of Apophis, okay? So we get to go 1, 2, 3. On resolution, what we're going to be able to do is your Swamp Deity is going to be able to negate 2 cards because you've got 1 and 2 there. It will then also, so what you'd usually do is your opponent activates something, right? You'd go, cool, Chainlink 1, Dynamite Knight, and then you go Chainlink 2, Chainlink 3, Chainlink 4. Okay, so 4 resolves, 3 resolves, 2 resolves, negating 2 cards, 1 resolves. And now we've cleared up our spaces. This will then get us access to possibly Apocalypse being your best option here, but you can go for Return if you want to. Then on a new chain, after this is all opened back up, we have the ability of utilising the Divine Serpent Apophis to allow us to destroy 1 card because the trap card was activated. Now, unfortunately, we can't use IP to get into SP Little Knight because it does require 2 effect monsters unless you want to use Dynamite Knight or your Apophis the Serpent. So you do have that option either or. So the benefit of that one is you can go into an SP Little Knight or you can just work your way into a Nightmare Phoenix. You could, ironically, also go into a Sealer Hat Rabbit and that will then get you another trap card. So, and keeping in mind that your Temple of the Kings, that trap card could be activated this turn. It's just in a very good position. That being said, what you also now have is you have the ability to activate your True Draco Apocalypse. And we'll go, okay, cool, I want my Masterpiece to be unaffected by trap cards, and I want him to be unaffected by monster effects. So we'll tribute both of those off. Masterpiece. And the reason you need to make sure you tribute off a trap or a spell is that you now have a continuous trap card in the graveyard that your Masterpiece can go, cool, banish, destroy. Then you've still got IP Masquerena. Let's say we do want to go into SP, we'll put both of these together. Go into SP Little Knight. You still have the ability to activate your other True Draco, that belongs there. This will then let you destroy another, so you can destroy your Disciple to destroy a spell or trap. Entirely up to you what you want to do, and then half your opponent's attack. So you're protecting everything you need to. Like you're pretty well covered here, which is really, really important. So that's it for test hand number 1, and that was with like Man with the Mark. Like Man with the Mark and then a True Draco spell card. And then as long as you had a True Draco monster, you were good to pretty much rock and roll. So now what we'll do is we'll do another test hand. Go in first. This one will be a little bit faster now. Usually the first ones are a bit slow as I try to like explain everything that's going on and walk you through the different stages. So we'll shuffle this up. We'll cut this up. And our starting hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, another nice combination. Because we've got Diagram, which will get you direct access to the monster that you should choose or you should wish. Then you've also got Disciples giving you your additional normal summon that you need as well. And then you also have your direct access to Man with a Mark. Now remember, opening up Man with a Mark is the best and most defensive way, like your most direct way. But then you also have access to get to it through the back of your Anubis as well. So you've got a couple of different consistency ways to get to this position. So it's not just like, oh, luck of the draw, I got what I needed to. You've actually got loads of direct, easy ways to get to where we are now. So, as we carry on, you can probably do the exact same thing. The only difference is you can try and interact with your opponent, like bait your opponent out by getting the diagram. Getting either one of these two cards, probably more so this, to the graveyard is not an issue either. These are kind of like your spare fodder cards because you're going to be able to get them back in rotation, recycle them, and do everything you need to anyway. So you can go normal summon Man with the Mark. Again, try to utilize his effect. Get your Treasures of the Kings. You've got the cards that can set. Activate the Treasures of the King. Treasures of the Kings lets you set. 99.999% of the time you're going to go for your Apophis of the Serpent. Set another one. Doesn't really make much of a difference which one it is. Set the Swamp Deity. Use the effect of Treasures of the King to get you the monster. Now you want the ability to activate your trap card turn 0. So the monster you're 99% again of the time going to go for unless you already have it. Or Temple of the Kings is going to be your Serket. You're going to summon down your Serket by banishing the Anubis. Getting you access to your... Where's Temple of the Kings? Temple of the Kings. And then you activate the Temple of the Kings. Okay? So now this position here, we're going to replace the Treasures of the King. And we're going to go for our Dragonic Diagram. Now use Dragonic Diagram's effect. Now all you need to do is destroy one other card you control. So to me, the other card that we control that is free to get rid of is your Swamp Deity. Or we set the Apophis the Serpent and get rid of that, but we're going to be able to loop this back later on anyway. It's not the end of the world. So if we choose to get rid of Swamp Deity, yes, you're getting rid of a negate. You can also choose to get rid of this Apophis Serpent as well because you have that one to set. So entirely up to you which one you want to get rid of. Let's keep this just so we have another line of interruption. So we'll get rid of that, and then we can go for any True Draco monster we want to. You can go for your Dynamite Knight, you can go for your Masterpiece. It's kind of up to you. You can even go for... I mean, we've got the spell. The Dynamite Knight doesn't lead us anywhere if we can't get another monster into rotation. So it depends on how greedy you want to be. And what I mean by that is we can go Majesty, because I'll be able to get access to a trap card. This is where the added benefits of stuff like the Man with Mark will come into play, and I'll show you that in a second. We'll do it a little bit differently. So now what you need to do is set the Apophis Serpent, activate the Apophis Serpent, you still control Temple of the Kings. This will then let you play a second Swamp Deity from the deck. Obviously ignore this one, this is just like a random card, like this isn't even relevant. Gets you the Swamp Deity. Activate the Swamp Deity. I didn't trigger this one the last time, but I can trigger it now anyway. So we'll put both of those together. We'll go into our Divine Apophis, effect of the Apophis the Serpent, to get us direct access of the embodiment. And then to get our continuous track card that we're going to want for during our opponent's turn, we're going to get rid of both of these. We're going to go into our Siddle Hat Rabbit. Siddle Hat Rabbit is then going to get you the continuous that can summon itself, which is going to be quite important. Oops, no, I've gone through all of the ones that can summon themselves, so we'll rewind that. That's my mistake, we've gone through one too many. So let's go for, instead, it's not the end of the world. Maybe we do we still want Majesty? I mean, Majesty really relies on us to be interactive with our opponent. I mean, Masterpiece is probably the most aggressive you could go for here. So maybe instead of Majesty, we just go Masterpiece. We just go aggressive. Why not? Set the embodiment and then activate the Draco Phoenix. Use Draco Phoenix's effect to give you that additional tribute, something that you're going to want. Get rid of... Don't really need Temple of the Kings right now. So let's get rid of embodiment and let's get rid of Temple of the Kings. Go for our Masterpiece. So unaffected by spells and traps. Obviously monsters it's still a little bit vulnerable to. But now we have the ability of this to set all three back again. There we go, with different names. And then you put these two together, and we'll go into IP Masquerena, and then pass our opponent's turn. So now what we currently have is, at any point, we can go Chaining 1, Chaining 2, Chaining 3. This would go 3, 2, 1. This would negate 2. Unfortunately, because we didn't have Anubis in the grave, we couldn't recycle... the other Swamp Deity, but we still have this Swamp Deity here as well, so don't worry. And then what you can do is you go IP, you destroy a card with this. You've got the ability to destroy a card with the Masterpiece by banishing one from the grave. So let's banish our Apophis the Serpent. And then you can go IP Masquerena. Your two options on this one are ideally working your way into a Nightmare Phoenix if you want to clear one of these off. But I think more times than not, what we're probably going to end up doing, because we need that effect monster, is we're going to be going into a SP Little Knight utilising this one. You probably don't, there's no need to utilise Masterpiece when it's like this. SP Little Knight would banish on summon. So you've negated 2. You have the ability to now activate this again and negate 3. You've got Masterpiece to destroy 1, you've got SP to banish 1, and you've got the Apophis to destroy 1 as well. So you've put in a little bit, a decent amount of work to kind of clear some of those cards off. So that's it for test stand number 2 going first. Now what we're going to do is we'll reset and we'll now start going second. So this is where that a bit of aggression that we just had there would be amped up a little bit as well. So we'll shuffle this up, we'll cut up, and we'll do our first test stand going second, starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my god, so many monsters. 6. Okay. This is a bit of an interesting one because the card of demise is not going to help us here right now. This is just way too many monsters. This isn't going to be the most susceptible guy. So like the best thing you could possibly do here is set Apocalypse, summon down Ignis, tributing off the Apocalypse. Apocalypse effect to destroy a card. Your opponent chains an effect. Ignis gets you the spell card. And then what you do is you use the spell card to get you access to your Dynamite Knight. And then you're basically trying to build up at that bit. For the sake of this particular hand, you're probably going to go normal Man with a Mark. Man with a Mark would get you treasures. Treasures would get you your Serpent. Then you would set another card, probably Card of Demise to be a little bit protective, but you never know. So we'll set that. We'll then use treasures to get us access to Circuit again. Wherever it may be. Where's Circuit? I've gone past it. I must have done. Yep, Circuit. Summon Circuit by banishing Anubis. Grabbing access to Temple of the Kings. Activate Temple of the Kings, gives us the ability to activate our Apophis the Serpent, summon this, which lets us place the Swamp Deity. Because it was placed off this, we can activate this turn, so you get to negate 1 card. And then you're basically trying to work your way to clear out your hand so that that Card of Demise puts in work. Because annoyingly, that Card of Demise is not doing anything for us right now, which is really annoying. But that's kind of part and part of it. So the very least what you can do here is you can tribute both of these, go into this, Effect of the Serpent, gets you access to Embodiment. I mean, it's not the end of the world because we did open up the trap cards, so we can play during our opponent's turn. But let's get Embodiment. So you'd probably go battle phase first, right? So you'd go 1, 2, 3, get that, and then main phase 2, put these into IP. Effect of this to set back these 2. And then pass your opponent's turn. So then what you have now during your opponent's turn is you can go activate True Draco Apocalypse, trigger the effect of our Divine Serpent to destroy a card. Let us tribute someone onto the field. So let's go for probably Dynamite Knight. Can then tribute off. Well, actually, probably do this a little bit away. You do actually hold this, and then you'd go 1, 2, 3. So summon, 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 negate 2. Then activate Apocalypse. Apocalypse lets you tribute one of these off. So it doesn't matter which one you want to tribute off, whatever the weaker one is. Go into Dynamite Knight. And then when your opponent activates a card or effect, you utilise Dynamite Knight. Yes, darling, do you want to play too? Get you access to True King's Return. The benefit is now you've got the ability for True King's Return. I know, it's just True Dracos, I know. You thought they were done and dusted with. You're too young to know what True Dracos are. So yeah. We've got this, and now we can activate the other trap card. This will then get us access to tribute off. I mean, you probably don't want to tribute off return, but you could technically tribute this off. to get us access to this. Now if our opponent activates or anything, this will get us access to probably Heritage or Disciples. I mean, I don't think we put enough in the grave for Disciples yet to be really fully effective. So we'll do that. We'll grab hold of the Heritage for a follow-up. We still have IP to utilise her effect, so you can choose to link off with the Ignis, but you probably want to keep that around because of the Apocalypse. Get rid of that, go into an SP Little Knight, banish one as well. So we've negated 3. We've got benefits of the back of 2. If we did decide to tribute over one of these, instead of the Dynamite Knight, we would have destroyed one as well. SP's banished one. Our hand is still pretty good, just with those 2 on the follow-up. So we do all of this. And then we can go back to, let's say it comes back to us. We haven't even used True King's Return yet to bring back fodder. So True King's Return, make sure you always use that last after you've done all your summoning. Draw for our turn. I mean, Disciples, pretty good on that one. Now we can move all of these to attack if we want to be like uber aggressive. Like that's how we can do it. But not to forget that we've still got Heritage, we've still got Disciples, and then we've got Man on the Mark. So like normal summon this. And what you're probably going to want to go for as well is you're probably going to work your way to try and get into another treasures. You'd activate treasures. You'd then try and work your way into Anubis to then discard the Anubis, get into the grave. And then the Anubis will let you start recycling some of your spells and traps once you get there. Like we can start tributing off some of these, and there's basically loads more that you can do. Remember that Ignis is the only tribute summoned one, so if your opponent activates something, you'd get another spell, but you've got pretty much everything you need here. So that would be that, just kind of give you a bit more of an idea. You did already do a bit of damage, so you would have done this, Circuit, and then Man with the Mark. And if you wanted to be like uber defensive because maybe they've put you under a Molchummy Fualos, then you just don't need to go into the SP Little Knight, the IP Masquerade, and you can hold that back. So very easy to control that scenario. So what we're going to do now is we're going to shuffle up, we're going to cut up, and we're going to do our final test hand going second. So after a very decent shuffle and a good old cut, our opening hand of 6 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What is this? I don't know, there has to be something wrong with my shuffling because these are all the cards we've literally just had. I'll redo this one, but this is literally just going to be a Temple of the King's Place. You'd activate treasures, grab your Man with the Mark, and then just work your way from there. So you're not really getting much advantage of it. So let's just... This is the only big risk when you're doing this, because you're playing like in an Amano Watto build. At most, you play 3 Amano Watto. That's it. That's your monsters. But in this, you're playing 3 Man with the Mark, 3 Anubis, and then 1 Circuit. So you're playing like 4 additional monsters that aren't... Like, they're all going to aid you to do that combo that you want to try and do. But, like, if you want to simplify the game state, you just don't even need to worry about it. Okay. Okay. Our final test hand going second will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, that hand's cracked. So... if you open up a combination like this, always start with your additional normal summon, because if your opponent interacts with your Man with the Mark at any point, you're gaining an advantage. So activate Disciples, give your additional normal summon of your Draco Slayer, getting rid of the own Disciples. That lets you destroy one of your opponent's spells and traps, and the reason you do that is you can activate Heritage, and you've already got rid of 1 spell, so you've already got 1 draw off the back of the Heritage right now. Then normal summon down the Man with the Mark. Trigger the effect here. If your opponent interacts with this, which more times than not they probably will do, you can go, cool, Dynamite Knight, place return face up. Resolve the Man with the Mark, grab your treasures, activate your treasures. Treasures effect will get you access to your Apophis. And as long as you have maintained a card to set, then that's kind of where you'll get the additional benefit of the Treasures of the King. So that's one thing I've kind of overlooked. But that's not the end of the world right now. Like, I'm pretty sure I can get another set. Well, yeah, I don't even need to activate the Heritage. I just set the Heritage. And there's my 2. And then I'll go, cool, treasures. Grab me Circuit. Wherever it may be. Summon Circuit, banishing Anubis. And grabbing access to Temple. So banish Anubis. Grab access to Temple. Don't have to activate this now, but I could do very easily. Let's use Diagram. So we'll replace this. Because Dynamite Knight's already been used, I'd use Diagram to destroy the Dynamite Knight, which means I've got 2 because I've got rid of a monster and a spell. I'll grab access to Masterpiece. If I want to draw all 3, I can... Remember, we're going second, so I'm just trying to be uber aggressive here. We'll then activate our Heritage. Heritage to give us an additional normal summon, like another one. So let's tribute off True King's Return, and actually I can probably be a little bit more. That's kind of rushing it. And what I mean by that is, let's activate Temple of the Kings first. Let's activate our Apotheosis Serpent. Serpent gives us Deity. Deity summons. Then activate Heritage. Heritage for that additional tribute summon, so we'll get rid of Temple and True King's Return. So I don't really need it. I mean, I could chain True King's Return to reborn the Dynamite Knight, but then you just don't have space. Am I rushing to get rid of the True King's Return? I probably am. Let's do smart. Let's slow down. Let's get both of those into this first. That gives us an upgrade. Utilize the Apotheosis Serpent. Get us access to the Embodiment. I'm rushing to get a draw 3, and I really don't need to draw 3. I can just draw 2, which is more than enough. So what we'll do here is we'll then... I don't think I need to special summon anymore. So we'll activate Return to bring back from the graveyard Dynamite Knight. It does come back in defense. And then we can use Masterpiece, so additional tribute of the Heritage. Let's get rid of... You can get rid of Return if you want to, and do this. And in doing so, what you're going to get is you get Heritage to draw 3, because we got rid of Return, we got rid of Draco Fighter, and we got rid of the Disciples. So you'll be able to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. And now in this position here, we can activate the Divine Serpent to reset both of these. Masterpiece is still live because you've got 2 continuous in the graveyard that can be banished. You can utilize the effect there. Banish 1, destroy. You've got Circuit to attack and then destroy, so it doesn't do any damage, but you still destroy it. You've then got 28 here. You've then got 2250 there, and you've got 1000 there. And then while this is face up, you're protecting any of these that you did summon previously, and you're protecting this. Obviously, we don't have anything more on hand. You probably, draw. You probably set off the back of this after you've already drawn. But even then, with like this field here, that's still very, very powerful. The only thing that is missing is a trap card like Apocalypse to let us tribute during our opponent's turn. But you would only make this particular play and this particular route to reset these if you feel you can OTK. And if you don't, you would resolve all your draws. You'd set the Apocalypse you've drawn first, and then you would activate the reset of this, and you'd probably go for Swamp... Swamp Deity or Serpent. Probably Swamp Deity with this particular field, for the pure fact that, I mean, maybe this needs to go in the extra monster zone just to free up a bit of space, because then you could go... What you could then do is that during your opponent's turn, you would go activate the Apotheosis Serpent, summon, set Swamp Deity, and then you'd activate the Swamp Deity, and then what the Swamp Deity will be able to negate 2, because you'd have Apocalypse face up this, so that's your 2. And then your hand's still looking kind of nice. Anyway, that's it for the entire test stand video. If you do have any questions at all, by all means, please put in the comments down below. The deck, of course, isn't like 100% meta-dominant and perfect, but it's just something that's a little bit different from the norm and the control-esque style of what normally True Dracos are going to be. And like I said, I really like the Apotheosis, I really like the True Dracos, and I thought putting them together could work out quite nicely, which is pretty much exactly what was happening here. I was quite happy with that deck in general. So yeah, I thought I'd share it with you all and go from there. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, as absolutely always, stay safe and, of course, happy dueling.